everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Hiba and I'm a fourth year medical student studying at the University of Manchester. If you didn't get the UCAT score that you wanted, then don't worry, it's not the end, because in this video I'm going to be sharing with you a list of all the universities that you can still apply to with a low UCAT score. If that sounds good to you, then please like this video and also subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Also watch right up until the end to make sure you hear about the university that I think is the easiest one to get into with a low UCAT score. So the first university is the University of Birmingham. At the University of Birmingham, your UCAT score will only count towards 35% of the selection for interview process, and there's also no minimum cut-off score. This means that 65% of the weighting is on factors other than the UCAT. 45% is academic, which means it's based on your GCSE grades or your A-level grades if you've already got them, and then 20% is contextual. They also only use the SJT band after the interview stage, so after they've already invited you for an interview. So don't worry if you have a low UCAT score, you can apply here no matter how low it is, and if you have a solid set of GCSEs or A-levels if you've already done them, then you have a good chance of being given an interview. Next up is the University of Cardiff. The University of Cardiff doesn't have a minimum UCAT threshold, and it doesn't give it as much importance as other universities do when selecting their applicants for interview. Instead, they only really use it when they need it as a tiebreaker to decide between two applicants when they're stuck deciding between two applicants. Next is the University of Liverpool. You can apply to the University of Liverpool as long as you have an SJT band of between 1 to 3. They do have a cut-off for UCAT scores, but this is usually a lot lower than all of the other universities. In the 2020 admission cycle, the cut-off was 2400, which is a lot lower than all of the other universities. If your score is around this region and you don't have an SJT band of 4, then you may want to consider applying to Liverpool. Next, you may want to consider Hull York Medical School. Hull York Medical School uses a points-based system to rank the students on various factors and then pick amongst the top students. Although they do offer a lot of points for your UCAT score and for your SJT band, there's actually no cut-off score for you to apply. A maximum of 55 points are available to you depending on your UCAT score, but also a maximum of 30 points are available depending on your GCSE grades. So if you know you have all A stars and A's and you potentially may get maximum points for this, then it may be worth applying here because at least there's no cut-off score. They also give an extra 15 points for anyone who's from a widening participation background. So if you fall under this category and you also have a good set of GCSEs, then I think it's definitely worth applying here even with a low UCAT score. Next on the list is Keele University. Keele University is a fairly new university, which means two things. It means it's less strict in its entry requirements, and it also means it's less competitive in terms of the number of people that are trying to apply there and want to go there. They won't consider anyone with an SJT band of 4, but according to the latest information on their website, their last cut-off score was 2,280, which is really low. You're not going to be ranked using your UCAT score. As long as you're above this cut-off, and as long as you have an SJT band of 1 to 3, it means that your score won't be looked at again. Once you've met these requirements, they won't be ranking you against other students. They'll only ever need to look at this number again if they need to use it as a tiebreaker between two applicants. Next is the University of Sunderland. The University of Sunderland is a partner university with Keele, and it's also a very new university as well. Although the entry requirements are slightly different to Keele, they're also really, really low. Like Keele University, they won't consider anyone with an SJT band of 4, so you'll have to have an SJT band between 1 to 3. And the only requirement is that you have to be in the top 8 deciles of the cohort, which means as long as you're in the top 80%, as long as you're out of the bottom 20%, then you can apply here and you have a good chance of getting an interview. The last university, and potentially the easiest one to get into, is Kent and Medway Medical School. The Kent and Medway Medical School website actually states itself that it uses one of the most generous UCAT thresholds in the whole of the UK. It may not have the same threshold for 2022 entry, but the most recent one was 2,420. And you'd also need to get a band 3 or above. Although of course there's no guarantee, the threshold this year is also likely to be similar. If you've watched a lot of these types of videos and you're still a little bit confused on where you should apply, which I understand you might be, then I think it may be worth emailing some of the admissions teams on these universities. You could just type up a quick email and say, look, I'm considering applying to your university. I got this score in my UCAT. Do you think it would be worth using up one of my places in my admissions form for this university? Do you think that you would consider me as an applicant, and do you think I would potentially get an interview? That could really help you make your decision and just make sure you don't waste any of your choices by applying to a university that isn't going to be giving you an interview potentially. Of course, apart from all of these universities, you do have the option to also apply for a BMAT university. You'll probably already know, but BMAT is a completely different UK medical entry test. It's completely separate to the UCAT, so regardless of what you get on your UCAT, you can score really well on your BMAT and get into a whole range of different universities. These universities won't be looking at your UCAT score. It won't matter what you got on your UCAT, they're only going to be using the BMAT. And because the BMAT is such a different type of test to the UCAT, it is possible that someone who's done poorly on the UCAT could do really, really well on the BMAT. They aren't similar to each other in any way. That's it for this video, guys. That was a list of 7 universities that you can consider applying to, even with a low UCAT score. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please press the like button on this video and also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more helpful videos like this one. It really, really helps me out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.